ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Bhagavad Gita, the manual of life. So before we proceed ahead, I would like to request some of you, please recall from our yesterday's discussion what we discussed. Yes, whoever wants to speak, please unmute yourself. You can share something, any small point in 10, 15 seconds, whatever you like. Yes.
बॉडी नहीं है, हम सोल है।
Yes.
हम एक सोल है, हम ये बॉडी में बिलोंग नहीं करते। मतलब हमारा एटर्नल ट्रुथ इज टू रीच कृष्णा।
Okay, good. Very nice. Thank you. So we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. A soul is driver within the body. Body is like a vehicle, and this vehicle has to be used for reaching to our original destination. And what is their destination? As you mentioned, to reach to Krishna. Okay, Asta Mataji is writing, our purpose is not sense gratification, what we always do. So this is not the purpose of this human form of life, to do only sense gratification. Our purpose is to achieve eternal happiness, complete bliss. That is the purpose of life. And everyone is searching after happiness, we discussed it before yesterday. But we are trying to get that happiness using this body, not using this body. We are trying to get this happiness thinking ourselves to be body, which is a misconception. So it doesn't matter what kind of body we have, we will always be dissatisfied with something that is missing in this body, because no one is perfect, only Krishna is perfect in all form. Yes, very nice, good. So this is what we discussed yesterday and day before yesterday. So I hope most of you were able to understand what we discussed yesterday. So today we'll proceed ahead. So we were discussing about inner self, the science of soul. So in this session, this is a very lengthy session actually. It takes around 1.5 hours to complete this session. So we will be doing it in 2 to 3 days. So yesterday we did. So we are going ahead. So we'll cover these 5 aspects. First is, am I matter or am I spirit? We will discuss about whether we are just a bunch of chemicals. That means the living symptoms which we exhibit through this body. Whether these living symptoms are generated from chemical combination, or there is something higher than just the combination of chemicals. This will be discussed in this section. Then next we will discuss scientific proofs for existence of spirit soul, because we all believe in science. If a scientist says something, we immediately accept. And if Bhagavad Gita says, no, it may be true, may not be true, who knows? It is mythology. And even Albert Einstein accepted this. He said, if you tell a person that this bench is newly painted, then the person will go and check it. But if you tell the person that there are 3 billion, so many trillions and so many millions stars are there in the sky, he will immediately accept. Immediately. No argument. So this is the blind faith we are having towards science, modern science and scientists. So some of the so-called scientifically advanced people or students, they say, we don't blindly follow anything. We don't accept this mythology book. religious scriptures. This is all blind faith. But interestingly, they themselves they are believing science blindly without accepting. If I ask you, all of you must have studied science, electron, proton, neutron. How many of you ever seen? How many of you have ever seen the electron, proton, neutron atom? Have any one of you have seen electron, proton, neutron atom in the laboratory? Yes, please raise your hand. I don't think so. I have also studied from sixth standard till 12th, and then 4 more years, 10 years. But I never saw atom, electron, proton, neutron. But I believed. So this is faith, but of course this is not blind faith, because we have reasons behind this. We have scientific reasons and logics behind this. That's why I don't say that if you accept the existence of atom, electron, proton, neutron, so it's a blind faith. But it requires faith. So it is known as reasonable faith. So reasonable faith can be accepted. That is based on science, logics, scientific experiments. So those things which we cannot see through our eyes, hear through our ears, or any of the senses, we cannot perceive those things, but which are practically, which can be demonstrated, which we can either through logic or reasoning or some experiments which we can experience. So those are accepted as reasonable faith. So similarly, Vedic scriptures give us idea about the existence of soul, existence of super soul, the supreme Lord, and which although we may not be able to see through our eyes, or we may not be able to experience through our senses, but through reasonings and logics we can understand the existence. Just like how many of you have intelligence? Please raise your hand. Yes, nobody. So to whom I am giving this session? Yes, please raise your hand. How many of you have intelligence? It may be little bit, but still, if you have, you raise your hand. Let's see how many of you have intelligence. Oh, only 9 to 10 students have. And rest of the students? Okay, 15 students means you have intelligence. Okay, my next question is, how many of you can show me that you have intelligence? You cannot show. How many of you can prove by any of means that you have intelligence? What is the sign of intelligence? You know, this asking question is a sign of intelligence, and giving answer is sign of intelligence. So at last end of each session, I asked that you ask some questions. Nobody asked. And in the beginning of the class, I asked, please recall, please reflect what we discussed yesterday. Nobody replies. So what should I understand? Okay, anyway, I accept that you have intelligence. This I can accept blindly also. I have full faith in you. So just see, I'm blindly accepting that you have intelligence. So can't you accept blindly that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God? But we are not forcing you to accept blindly. We will prove you that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you are, and we are, every one of us are his eternal servants. So this session is very nicely designed. If anyone who is having intelligence, they will appreciate it a lot. And they will ask questions at the end. And also they will reply back in the next session tomorrow. Okay, so we will proceed ahead. So first we are going to discuss that am I matter or am I spirit? So suppose if I ask you a question, which obviously I know you are not going to answer, but still I will ask. You can answer to yourself, no problem. So who are you? So please answer to your own self. If somebody asks you, if I ask you this question, who are you? So what is your answer immediately? So please keep the answer in your mind. Then as we proceed ahead, you will come to know something very interesting. So if generally, if we ask somebody, who are you? So what is the general answer? They tell us their name, or they tell their designations. I'm an engineer. I'm a doctor. I'm a human being. All these things. But actually, this is not truth. Why? We'll discuss it. There's a great reason behind it. So if you say I am this and this, I'm a boy, girl, or I'm an engineer, doctor, I'm human being. So this is all identity with regards to body. That means you are assuming that I am this body. So as soon as we ask this question, who are you? So immediately whatever response you give, so that pertains to or that refers to body only. Body and only body, material body, this body. Now, according to this scientist, professor of anatomy, Illinois College of Medicine, what he says, Dr. Harry Monson, so he says this body, which is made up of so many different kinds of chemicals. So, if you consider a body of a human being who has a weight of 60 pounds, or for let us consider 60 kilograms kg. So these are the chemicals present. He has calculated very nicely. He's a great professor. So in his laboratory, he has calculated and come to this conclusion that 5 kg of calcium, 1.5 kg of phosphate, 9 ounces of potassium, 6 ounces each of sulfur, sodium, and similarly, so many different ingredients are present. Now, if you go in the market and purchase all these chemicals, so maybe you will get it in rupees 110, in just rupees 110. So this research was done few years back, 8 to 10 years back. So now it may be the price may be rupees 500. Let us consider rupees 500. So do you think you are worth rupees 500 only? How many of you think that your value is just worth rupees 500? Suppose if your parents they sell you and in exchange of 500 rupees, how do you feel? So everyone will accept, no, no, we are not just rupees 500. Because suppose if your friend goes on the bike, a very nice bike, worth rupees 1 lakh, and he gets an accident. So whom you will take first? Your friend or the bike? You will immediately take the friend to the hospital, not the bike. You will be least concerned about the bike, which is actually worth rupees 1 lakh, but still you will take your friend. So that means that the person is more important than the value of the bike. That means, but the body, this chemical combination, it's just only rupees 500. So what is there in the body which is making the person so valuable? So I hope you are able to get this logic. You are able to get this reasoning, isn't it? So that means we are not just this bunch of chemicals. We are not this chemical only. If we were this chemical only, so why so much value is given to the uh, body, and you are taking the body to the hospital? So if we are not just this chemical bunch of chemicals, then what is our real identity? That is the question. Another difference we can logically understand, the body difference between the body when it is living or when it dies. So living beauty and after death, what happens? A girl, when she lives, she makes so many people mad or makes so many people die also. But when she dies, nobody cares to go near her. So this is the difference. You can just see after death, chemicals are the same, but no feelings, no thinking, no desires, no movement, and no consciousness at all. The body is the same. There is no difference. The same eyes, same nose, same hands, same legs, same body. Everything is same. But as soon as the body is dead, that means something within the body has left the body. And we can conclude from this example, the person when he was living, he was more attractive, more beautiful. But after death, the same person is no more attractive. Nobody likes to go near a dead body. That proves that there was something within the body which was making the body attractive, not the body itself. Just like if you take a bulb, so bulb appears to be very attractive. Such nice yellow light comes out of the bulb. But as soon as you switch off the light, there is no attraction. So that attraction, so that there are some kinds of flies who get attracted towards light. So seeing the bulb emanating yellow light, the flies runs towards the bulb. So is the fly attracted towards bulb? No, the fly is attracted towards inside the bulb, the electricity, the light. So that is why as soon as you switch off the light, immediately the fly will not get attracted towards the bulb. So that proves that there is something within. Similarly, we all get attracted towards each other. Specifically, a young boy is attracted towards young girl is attracted towards young boy. So that attraction, which appears to be attraction for the body, but actually that is not for the body. That is because of the presence of the soul. And this is the greatest misconception. This is the greatest illusion today's younger generation they have, that they feel they are attracted towards the body. So if they get the body, then they will become happy. So this is the greatest illusion. And what is the proof? Because when they get the body, again, everything becomes miserable. So the conclusion is that whatever attractive things are there in this world, the attraction is only because of the presence of the soul. When the soul is present within the body, the person is attractive either because of bodily features or because of intelligence, because of his activities, actions, behavior, whatever it may be. So all those behaviors, actions, his intelligence, his activities, or his bodily features becomes attractive only when the soul is present within the body. But as soon as the soul leaves the body, the same body is no more attractive. So this is the proof. Chemicals are the same, but there is no attraction. Same body, but the soul is gone. So this is another reason, another logic. Please listen it attentively. I will ask tomorrow how many logical reasons we discussed, which proves that we are not this body. We are different from this body. So these two reasons, logics we have till now discussed. Another. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन्नायं भूत्वा भवितवा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So this is Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, verse number 20. So we are going to just discuss briefly, but actually when we'll begin this course, Bhagavad Gita, so we'll discuss it in more detail. Each and every word of Bhagavad Gita, this verse, na jayate mriyate va kadachin. So each and every word has a specific deep meaning. Bhagavad Gita is such a wonderful book of knowledge. Each and every shloka, each and every line, each and every word contains such meaningful, such meaning and such deepness that nothing in this creation, no knowledge can compare to it. Anyone who has read Bhagavad Gita even once in his life, and anyone who has understood Bhagavad Gita even single verse in his life, he comes to this conclusion. When I was in 11th, 12th, and I was preparing for IIT, and by the mercy of Lord, I could crack IIT also. So my favorite subject was mathematics and physics, and specifically physics, because physics contains so many nice, wonderful laws. So when I was reading it, when I was studying it, solving questions, going deeper and deeper into physics, and so I was so much mesmerized with these laws of physics, science given by great scientists. All these scientists, they became my ideals. I became their fan. I was not a fan of all this nonsense. I'll not take the name because some of you might become. But any film star or any politician, I was never attracted to them. But I was very much attracted towards Einstein, Newton, Ramanujan, mathematicians and scientists, because they gave such wonderful laws, such deep. I was attracted towards their intelligence. So, but as soon as I got this Bhagavad Gita, copy of Bhagavad Gita, just single study of Bhagavad Gita completely convinced me that there is nothing better than this knowledge. The science which have been presented in this Bhagavad Gita by the greatest scientist, who is that? Lord Krishna, is uncomparable, and nobody compared to it. Nobody can compare to it. And then from that day onwards, Lord Krishna became my ideal, and I became his lifelong not just this life, eternally fan of Lord Krishna because of this knowledge. Such a wonderful knowledge Lord Krishna gave. And how he gave, just standing in the midst of two armies. He was not prepared. He did not prepare Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna came to for fighting, and Arjuna was prepared. Arjuna was prepared in the beginning. Arjuna was prepared to fight, and he told Krishna, "My dear Krishna, please bring the chariot in between the two armies. I want to see with whom I have to fight, so that I can analyze their strength and I can prepare myself to fight with them." And he actually took out his Gandiva bow and arrow also, and he was prepared that immediately as soon as there is Shankhanad, blowing of the conch, and he will start fighting. That was the situation. But Krishna very mercifully and he tricked Arjuna. He put the chariot in between the two armies, but specifically in front of Bhishma and Drona. Bhishma Drona Pramukataha Sarvesam Samahikshitam Uvacha Partha Pashyetan. Lord Krishna said, Uvacha Partha Pashyetan, indicating towards Bhishma and Drona. Lord Krishna smilingly told Arjuna that, my dear Arjuna, please see, Pashya means please see, observe with whom you are going to fight. And who was in front? Bhishma Drona Pramukataha. In Pramukha means in front of Bhishma Dronacharya, Bhishma Pitama. Arjuna was so affectionate towards Bhishma, and Dronacharya was Arjuna was a favorite disciple of Dronacharya. So as soon as Arjuna saw, he became perplexed, completely means he started lamenting. He got into anxiety, such great anxiety. Yesterday we discussed. Shamshate hastat tapchaiva paridahyate roma harshasya jayate. His entire body immediately it was trembling, and tears was flowing from his eyes. His entire body perspiring, and his body was such a high fever he got, burning sensation he was experiencing. So much anxiety he got. But Lord Krishna, then immediately, Arjuna, what he did, he immediately took shelter of Krishna. And he could understand that only Krishna can take me out of this anxiety. And then Krishna started speaking Bhagavad Gita. And within 40-45 minutes, Krishna spoke entire Bhagavad Gita. And very nicely, he was very cool. Krishna was not in anxiety that, oh, I have to speak now, transcendental knowledge. So I did not prepare. No, he was very nice with a smiling face, merciful glance. He just spoke. In natural flow, he spoke Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, 40-45 minutes. And Arjuna was such an intelligent devotee of Krishna that he could understand Bhagavad Gita also in 40-45 minutes. But the same Bhagavad Gita, which was spoken by Krishna, it cannot be understood even by greatest of philosophers. So many big intelligent people, they cannot understand the meaning of Bhagavad Gita even throughout their life. Such deep meanings are there in the Bhagavad Gita. So who is the greatest scientist? The Krishna is greatest scientist. Krishna is most intelligent personality. And whatever he spoke, each and every word, no addition is required. That's why you will not find any second edition of Bhagavad Gita. No addition. Last 5,200 years, Bhagavad Gita is same. But whatever we study in modern school, colleges and universities, given by our dear scientists, after each 10, 15, 20 years, there is second edition, third edition. And sometimes it so happens the entire theory is changed. Thomson, Rutherford, then first Thomson came, he gave the atomic model. Atomic model is like a watermelon. And then Rutherford came, he gave some theory. And then further, Niels Bohr came. There's so many theories, they keep changing. But Krishna's theory never changes because it's not just theory, it's science. Jnana Vijnana Sahitam, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Yad Gyatva Mokshase Yashubhat. Knowing which, Arjuna, I am going to tell you this transcendental knowledge along with the scientific application, knowing which you will not be experiencing any kind of lamentation. Has ever have any of the scientists they guaranteed us that after understanding their knowledge will become free from anxiety, lamentation. No, no guarantee. Rather, the opposite happens. The more we advance in scientific, so modern science, scientific knowledge, the more we'll end up into trouble, anxiety, stress, depression, all these things happens. But if you understand the science of Bhagavad Gita, no more anxiety. Okay, let's proceed ahead. In this verse, there's a third the logic Lord Krishna is giving. For the soul, there is neither birth nor death at any time. Soul is eternal. The soul. So this is the difference between body and soul. Body is made up of matter. Soul is made up of spirit. Body is not conscious. Soul is conscious. Body changes. Soul doesn't change. And body is temporary, and soul is eternal. So this is the difference. Body is always dead. Soul is alive. So matter means earth, water, fire, air, ether. Yesterday we discussed. This body, gross body is made up of material elements. Material elements are earth, water, fire, air, ether. And all these five elements are dead matter only. No consciousness. So it doesn't matter what kind of combination you make out of these bunches of chemical. It is not going to produce any life. That is not possible. And then changes, this body changes. The body takes birth and grows and finally deteriorates and ultimately dead and gone. But the soul remains as it is, no change, eternal and alive. So this is the difference between body and soul. So you are not the body that you see in the mirror. Every one of us, when we go to the washroom, so when we brush our teeth, and when then we see, oh, I'm looking so ugly now. Or somebody may think, oh, I'm becoming handsome. Somebody may think, oh, my body weight is going down. I'm becoming fat. I'm becoming healthy. So as soon as we see in the mirror, so what we think that we are changing after seeing the body. Somebody sees a white hair, so he thinks that, oh, I'm growing old. He becomes perplexed and he comes into anxiety, especially if Mataji, some Mataji, young Mataji is 25 years, 30 years old. If she sees a white hair, so she will land up into such great anxiety. And it is equally applicable to Prabhuji also. Prabhuji is also, everyone in this material world, everyone is filled with bodily consciousness. Immediately we identify ourselves with the body. But actually, we should always remember, this is the lesson, conclusion from this discussion, today's and yesterday's discussion. So when you see yourself in the mirror, don't think that you are the body. You are not that person which you are seeing in the mirror. You are the Atma, soul, the real driver of the bodily car. The soul is present within the heart. Nobody has ever seen us. Nobody has ever seen us. So that is why there should be no anxiety. So a person who is in material consciousness, okay, so we have only 3.5 minutes left. So we'll stop here for today. We'll proceed tomorrow. So if anyone is having any question, you can ask. Hare Krishna. Yes? Anyone is having question? Always remember, asking question is a sign of intelligence. Although I have blindly accepted that all of you have intelligence, but you should also show that you have intelligence. Yes? Any question? No question. Okay, then I will blindly accept that everyone has understood everything. But tomorrow when I will come, so then you will have to prove that you have understood everything. Third time I may not be able to blindly accept. Okay, no question. Wait. So many, 50 students are there, but no question. Hare Krishna. Okay, no problem. Hare Krishna. Yes, Ganesh bro, you have some question?
Yeah, who controls the actual thing? So is it the Indriya or the mind or the soul? Okay, so whom we should give the instruction?
Actually, soul controls everything. Because only because of the presence of the soul, all the senses and mind, intelligence, they function. And in the absence of soul, nothing is going to function. So that's why the real controller is soul. And actually, not even the soul is the real controller, but actually super soul is the real controller. And super soul gives us this independence. Now, my dear soul, you become the controller. So the soul desires, and as per the desire of the soul, actually super soul carries out all the uh, functions of body, mind, and intelligence. But it is desire of the soul. So practically we can say the soul is controller. Soul wants, soul desires, and super soul helps. It's like you are traveling in the Ola cab, and actually who is driving? The driver is actually driving, but actually driver is not driving. You are driving because you are instructing him go to this place, go to this place. Okay. Yes, Ansh bro.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Pranam. Prabhu, my question is, suppose if you are doing any act related to our work or any material things, either I go to the spiritual life, but the instruction should I'm getting from my mind or from the soul. Suppose I'm directed towards
Okay,
a
okay,
spiritual thing
understood.
like
Yeah, I understood. So immediate instructions you get from your mind, but again the same thing as I explained. Only because of the presence of the soul, the functions of mind are carried out. With the absence of soul, there will be no function of mind and senses and body. So it's true. Okay. So this we will discuss in more detail in the upcoming sessions. So okay. So with this, we'll end here. Disha Mataji has some question. So I'll request you, you ask it tomorrow because time is going to over in 30 seconds. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.